Vici Gaming versus T1. Game 1.
Hello and welcome to the draft. As we start the draft, I would just like to throw myself under the bus to recover Jenkins because I also thought that Vici Gaming was going to do very well. So, Jenkins, you're not alone. And some people in the talent pool, Trent, also thought that. They're going to hide now, but they believe it. I'm here in the draft panel with Lacoste and Effie once again, and we're here to analyze the first draft between Vici Gaming and T1. So, expectations for what we could see for Vici Gaming here, Lacoste.
Vici Gaming, I want to see Ori pop off. I want to see Ori put in a spot where he is able to dominate the matchup because he had a couple of rough ones, especially against Virtus Pro. What are you laughing at? You see Magnus are like, all right, T1, they have this one in the bag.
That's Master Cuckoo's Magnus as well. And, the pillar of the team, very often one of the most veteran players. That's scary.
Cuckoo has been impressive on the Magnus. I remember one play where he grabs 3 heroes, I believe, from Fog. He saw one, but the rest of the team was also backing him up. And the Horn Toss and 3 heroes cure back into RP. He's also one of the players that really grew on me throughout Season 1 and Season 2, being able to interview him as well. So he's just like... They're like a family, All of them are able to bond together, seeing them happy when they win. I think this is very important, and they coming into this matchup, it's just a bunch of friends who love to play Dota and enjoy doing it together.
Mm-hmm. Typically, the way that Vici have drafted throughout groups is that they first phase Old Eleven's hero, but when they played against Evil Geniuses the other day, they actually opted to not do that and just secure the 2 strong supports that they want, and last pick 11's here.
Whoa!
So this is...
Oh, he's been picked! Finally, my Crimson Witness is worth something. Sorry, Omni-Knight, yes.
I believe, yes, this is the first Omni-Knight pick of the tournament.
It is.
And
why, by the way? Why is he so bad? Can you just explain it quickly?
He's not necessarily bad, but when he did have his time in the sun, it was because Heavenly Grace just got that buff where it gave him more strength, and it was an undispellable spell, right? Yeah. It got changed to be dispellable, which doesn't really make it as strong as it used to be, especially in first phase. And Sven got nerfed as well, so Omni-Knight rose to popularity with Sven, and they kind of fell together too. But I want to talk about Rubik more than I want to talk about Omni-Knight.
Okay, sure. Talk about Rubik.
I was wondering when we would see a Rubik versus a Magnus, because there have been so many Magnuses and not that many Rubiks. And just traditionally, Rubik is, I wouldn't particularly call him a counter, but he's capable of stealing RP and instantly lifting Magnus with telekinesis if he has vision on him and he blinks in, right? So it's cool to see this come into play. But so far I'm looking at the support duo, and they don't look that strong, right? But then I look at this Magnus plus Lina and I say, wow, right?
Yeah, this looks super strong. To go back to your Magnus against Rubik point, because Magnus these days, and from what we've seen today, also they tend to go for the Horn Toss at one point into Skewer. The instant Rubik lift could break out that play you were going for, and also the cast range that you build naturally into Aetherland. So might be one of the ways to actually counter the Magnus, because we've seen in the previous one where OG tried to potentially counter it with the Earthshaker Fisher. Wasn't really as effective as we expected, but yeah.
Imagine stealing Skewer, and then, so your method of doing it is telekinesis to Skewer back, except your Skewer is much longer range than Magnus's.
Yeah.
So if we could see something like that happen this game, that would be really cool.
Also a faster cast point even, so there's a lot of tracks. For people that have not been watching for a while, like what Omni-Knight, Heavenly Grace, what is this, right? If you're an old Dota 1 player, you remember Repel, right? Now it's Heavenly Grace, of course. Give you stat resistance, strength as well, and a bit of regen, I believe.
Yes.
And much like the old Repel, now it's dispellable for some reason, because Ice Frog really hates this poor hero. So that's why we're very surprised that we're seeing this on the main stage again.
I don't think Omni-Knight is a counter to Magnus, because his playstyle changed. It's not about, I'm going to go in RP and then he will pop his ulti, everyone's immune to damage. This time around, Magnus is more about repositioning the key hero into LSA, into Hex. There is still Lion available for T1. This hero has set them up for so many successes throughout both seasons, even the Major and also ESL 1 event, where I remember the Snapfire plus Lion combination when Carl was not having a good time. They also managed to get the game back on track with the 2 supports.
So something this Omni does have going for him at the moment is that they didn't pick a Shadow Demon or any kind of natural dispel, they just went straight for the Monkey King. And I'm gonna assume it's a mid Lina just because I don't feel like support Lina is that strong at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's why they go for the Leshrac. If you pair up Omni and Leshrac, it makes him very, very hard to kill, which is something that Leshrac enjoys, right? Because he's one of the highest DPS heroes in the game, but he needs to run in to be able to do that. So he's always been best paired with the security of something like an Omni Knight or an Oracle. And yeah, still no, just, oh, there's the
there's
Enchantress
the
as
spell.
well.
I was wondering
Okay.
if they're going to go for like Oracle or Enchantress type of a hero. They will go with Enchantress, so it makes a lot of sense. We saw Team Secret having a lot of success yesterday with the hero, one of the heroes. You don't like to play into Leshrac. I think in general Leshrac's one of the better heroes against Enchantress because she becomes super tanky early on, especially if you don't have any kind of like big spell damage or a lot of attack speed. And also, they pick Ursa into Enchantress, so your overpower is dispellable, which could be a bit tricky and slow you down.
But if you're dispelling overpower, then I guess a good Omni Knight can wait and cast the Heavenly Grace later and just, play around it a little bit. But the Enchantress does look very strong here. Also, the Leshrac has a pretty good lane versus Lina mid, so I suppose it justifies the pick this early on. But what I'm looking at from Vici's draft is actually not their typical late game style at all, right? This is a run at you. We're going to take your towers and try to get the first couple of Roches and just overpower you. And we have not seen Vici do that.
No, we have not. Ursa versus Monkey King, also a matchup Lacoste loves talking about.
Oh yes, we don't know if this is going to be a position 1 monkey. Looks like it because it's paired up with the Magnus, which is the combination that I really love. You come online so quickly. Most of the time it's just the Echo Saber build where you become so tanky, double hit. You're also able to clear the Ancients with, but Ursa one of the few heroes that can stand inside the Wukong's command and actually fight you. This time around, Vici Gaming, they will be playing the Radiant, which means you have Ursa. Once the tier 1 towers, your safe lane tower falls, you can push like the top part of the map and threaten the Roshan, because where you're going to be playing is the top part of the map, which means that you're always going to be around the Roche. There is like one fight that breaks out, you kill 1 or 2 heroes, allows Ursa plus Leshrac, which is a ton of damage to kill the Roshan. So T1 will need to be very careful about it. Enchantress can be that hero that scout things out inside the pit with one of her creeps, so this is what they will need to do.
And this would have been a really good Doom game, but T1 banned it out. Also, interestingly enough, Vici banned Faceless Void, so they don't actually think it's the carry Monkey King.
Yeah. Because, as Lacoste says, you can always flex it out, and if this matchup is bad, just go for a better core-to-core. And if that's the case, Lacoste, what will be seeing against this Ursa? What kind of carry do you want?
Do you want to pick? I still feel like this, should be a position 1 monkey. Sometimes what we see from the bans is they like ban a carry hero that they don't like to play into, and then they play, and they cover some of the weaknesses of the draft.
Right.
Fair enough.
So, something Vici lack right now is a proper way to take a fight, because yes, you will have your Leshrac running in, but you do need some kind of Jenkins. You do need some kind of blink stun, and they ban out the Doom and Earthshaker, so they're going to need some kind of tanky offlaner who can take these fights for them. There is still Mars left in the pool, but he isn't that synergistic with the heroes that they have at the moment.
Is Lycan still in the pool?
He is, I believe.
Yeah, and the Ursa Lycan is a combo we've seen before. It is an old 11's hero pool.
The Wolf Bear,
The Wolf Bear.
will it make a return?
Do you think that this is a decent Lycan game? I know he's not great against Monkey King carry.
Yeah, so as we've said, they covered the weaknesses of their draft, so they decided to go with the Faceless Void and Shadow Demon, so that's position 1 and 4. Another way of dispelling things, Shadow Demon has a built-in dispel, also one of the heroes that kind of ruin Ursa, because you can put him down in the disruption and also slow him, which is not dispellable, so I really like what they did. I don't think they would go for Shadow Demon in this situation. I would love them to get like a position 4 that can fight, maybe something like, Lion's still available, right?
Do you?
No, I just wanted to say, because you brought up Lycan, the thing that made their Lycan so successful versus Evil Geniuses is that when he ran his units at the Skywrath Mage, he instantly died, right? But if you run your units at Enchantress, they're max move speed, but they don't have max attack speed or anything like that. It's not like you're going to clear these backlines out instantly. And if it does end up being a support Monkey King, he's just going to be in the trees, and I hope it isn't, right? So, and if they do have this last pick for their 4 hero, I don't think it'll be a Lycan.
Oh, it's gonna be a Razor instead.
So it is.
That's the carrier Razor.
Okay, so Razor is very good versus Ursa for obvious reasons, but to those at home who don't know, Razor can just use Static Link on Ursa and drain all of his damage, and Ursa's a melee carry, so he doesn't necessarily have a means to disengage. Also, Omni Knight and Rubik are not natural force staff builders, but they're going to have to go to that if they're going to play versus Razor.
That's a very good point. Could we get shot on Rubik to fulfill that role of a force staff?
Eventually, maybe that would do well. Thinking about the offlaners that can lane against Razor, there aren't many, because yesterday we saw Magnus was like the great pick. This time around T1 already has the hero. It's very hard, and that was the EG series that I'm talking about. Sometimes it feels really hard because most of the offlaners and what Vici wants is something strength that can like get the jump.
Right.
Because they don't have a way to start a fight. You know, Ursa running in, possibly Leshrac running in with the Omni Knight's Heavenly Grace. It's a tough one. I'd say they're in a spot where I don't see the hero that could go like, wow, yeah, this is it. He's gonna have a hard time. So they might need to play for like, sack the off lane, but still get some kind of initiation.
So the lane and the game are in contention right now.
Yeah, maybe like a Legion commander, because I really love 11's positioning whenever he's playing. It's still not a good matchup against the Razor, but you gotta have something. At least you have a spear to like push Razor back.
I see.
Yes, I wanted to say that Mars has become an obvious pick here because we see the Razor carry, and that's the only thing left in the pool that can be the Blink initiator, right? Elsie is just too defensive and doesn't really help with them running in. But they do pick it out. He rounds out the draft pretty much. Like, he can clear the trees of Monkey King, which is a bonus, so he can just knock him down, and it seems like a fine pick. I'm just concerned about Vici Gaming's ability to outscale or outgreed T1.
For you, Lacoste, tell me this. She's worried. Tell me the strengths of...
I don't like that they also picked 2 range cores with the Empower. I would prefer if it's something melee, so that's a big downside of their lineup. With this Mars, I think Vici Gaming that they have, I think I misread the situation with Mars being available. So yeah, I like that. And also threatening the Roche kill, choosing where you want to fight, resetting multiple times with Omni Knight and Ursa, like they like to go in and out of the fights. So yeah, I'm slightly favoring Vici Gaming.
Do you think that the strengths of the template, if you talked about T1, are still true?
Sure, but Vici Gaming also has no cooldowns. They can keep fighting all the time. There's Mars Arena and Omni Knight's ulti, that's it.
I didn't say T1 would play tempo, I said Vici would.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Apologies. Right. As we're getting into game number 1, we're going to get the coach interview that we usually do with Frankie, as she is standing by with T1's coach, March.
Thank you very much, Avo. I've got March with me now, and I need to ask your reaction to that Omni Knight pick. It's the first time we've seen it here at Ti10.
Yeah, it is the first time we've seen it, but we were actually brainstorming ourselves too. And then we were kind of predicting that hero.
So you didn't have to adjust your draft in any way to counter it? You already had it in the game plan?
I don't want to say so much, but it's not a surprise for us. The meta has been developed around the Magnus, and it was something that we were thinking about it as well.
Well, thank you so much for your time, March. Good luck. We are going to head it over to Cinderin and Sunsfan to get game number 1 underway.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Sunshine with Cinder in here. Vici versus T1. Best of 3, Cinderman. Are you ready to see Omni Knight?
Yes.
It's been about 2 months since he's been nerfed, and everybody forgot he existed until he was first 2 picked.
Yeah, so...
Tell me why.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this is that, there was some speculation about, okay, what's going to happen to Omni Knight with the nerf that came in. Obviously, the biggest nerf for Omni Knight was the fact that Heavenly Grace can be dispelled. Used to be an insanely powerful ability. It is still a hard dispel. It still gives all the bonuses from before, but now you can itemize against it. You see for T1 in this game, they have Enchant, for example, that could remove it. But yeah, why is it first 2? Good question. Maybe Vici Gaming see it as a counter to Magnus because of the hard dispel, which it's definitely very good. But yeah, I also see some potential pitfalls for the hero. Like Omni Knight, sometimes when played as a 5, which will be the case this game for DY, ends up not contributing as much in lane as you would like. And then if you're playing against heroes that just run at you, it can be very difficult to fight back. Like heroes with silences, heroes with burst, heroes with magic damage as well. And I feel like T1 have a pretty good mix of everything. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see Omni. I thought it was a shame if the hero just disappeared entirely off that one turn.
Yeah, no doubt. As we can see, an early split earth here from Ori in the mid lane. Seen a lot of Lesh versus Lina, but to refresh everybody's memory, Cinderin, how do you like this matchup for respective sides here?
I think it's slightly Lina favored, but Leshrac is one of the heroes that fares the best. We need to keep in mind Lina wins almost every lane right now, so if you can somewhat break even, that I would consider that almost a win in a way. So Ori should be having an okay time here. Early on, however, Carl is managing to double wave him into the tower more or less, so should cost some CS there for Ori unless he has really good last hitting. Carl even finding denies too, so off to a great start in mid. Ori has had some... For a player that had a reputation at previous TIs of being a stellar laner, this has not been Ori's best event from a laning perspective, and we're seeing here that Carl is just dwarfing him so far in this game, 6-4 against 2-0.
Yeah, still very early, and of course, Ori has bounced back in a lot of these games regardless.
Yeah.
We'll see how this ends up transpiring for him. But, I mean, you haven't even talked about the lineups yet overall. We see Magnus again. This seems, to be the hero of the tournament, which originally thought it would be Elder Titan. Tiny has had his time in the sun as well, but it seems like Magnus is getting the better of Tiny in a lot of these engagements. We saw in the last series skewers into Fountain, reminiscing of the old Pud Hook a little bit there.
Oh, Cuckoo is actually almost killing Toyoyo here.
Yep. As we're going to see first blood. All right, old 11.
11 here.
Yeah, taken out by 23 Savage on the position 1 Razor. So picking Razor again, I mean, obviously in lane against any melee hero is going to be pretty successful, and then late game, it feels like more of a anti-hero or anti-carry against the Ursa, since it is melee as well. As Toyoyo taking so much damage, has to force out the Fairy Fire here just to survive. So getting punished pretty early in the laning stage here.
Omni Knight does not fare well in this lane. You're going to be hard-pressed to help your Ursa with anything more than a Purification. The Heavenly Grace can be dispelled by Enchantress, so Cuckoo will have a total great time down here, and that's bad news if you're playing Ursa against a melee hero that you can't even pressure him, but I just don't see it right now for their lane. Maybe with some more levels. But there's like the double whammy even with Enchant, right? You can also purge off Overpower, so
yeah,
got to be really wise with how you cast your spells for Vici Gaming in that bottom lane. Pressure top again, Zephyr almost getting the Jingu stacks.
Yep, of course, seeing that position 4 Monkey King, which, again, one of the big heroes of the tournament as well. I mean, I guess the biggest difference with him and Magnus is we've seen him position 1, so he has a lot more flexibility. And we've seen mid-Magnus before this tournament, not so much in the last month or so, but interested to see like what hero flexibility they'll be going for, because as the tournaments typically progress, it becomes narrower and narrower in scope. Yeah, but considering how flexible heroes are now versus even 2 years ago, expecting that to perhaps change a little bit here.
Now, I would say one of the things about Magnus just makes him so incredible is that almost no matter what role you play him in, Horn Toss is just proving to be the shard of the game right now. It is incredible. And honestly, it feels like RP is kind of a luxury at this point.
Yeah,
like, Horn Toss is the real RP. Oh, good damage onto DY, gets the skewer.
Shockwave into skewer, DY, TP's away to safety. Oh, okay, never mind. Impetus, just enough damage there.
He did get sent to safety.
True.
He'll be back to safety.
The fact that he used the
seconds.
TP is very sad for Vici, because he has to do the old walk of shame.
Good old big bad news. Oh my god, Ori is getting owned.
Yeah.
I just realized
9-3 to 24-14.
If you're new to Dota, this is not a slight win. I said it's slightly Lina favored.
Is that a Gaben level win?
That is a very, very stompy performance so far from Carl.
What about the comeback potential from Lesh? Because typically you want to be the one pushing the wave and doing some damage to the tower here. Okay, they're going to trade stuns here, but the tomato coming in from afar. We'll see DY, forcing back Carl, but doesn't really offer that much or any harassment because he is an Omni Knight after all.
So in terms of
Zephyr, yeah, he's going to get pinned to the tree and brought down. So Vici Gaming getting their first kill of this series.
In terms of comeback potential for the Leshrac, the way you usually get that is by farming some camps in the jungle with Pulse Nova. The problem is Lina has found 14 denies, so Carl is 3/4 of a level ahead, and once he hits level 6, any rotation from Enchantress with a creep, or even without, just with an enchant, should be enough to set up a kill on the Lesh for Lina. Even going to get a bottle refill here brought in from Zephyr.
Yeah, Carl absolutely crushing right now. We'll see if he's able to actually snowball this. I mean, we've seen some great performances in the laning stage, and it kind of tapers off because they don't end up getting that kind of little extra...
Poyoyo bottom.
Poyoyo again, getting the shockwave applied. I mean, look at his CS, but he's at 20 and 2 versus the 22 and 7 of 23 Savage's Razor. But that is a Razor. He's not really that great of a farmer. I mean, neither are really. As there's the Heavenly Grace applied to Poyoyo.
And Whitemon is going for that rotation mid now, so is pinging out. He wants to go for Lash. He has the boots on Inch.
And the old
He'll walk through a ward.
Ripper.
So Ori knows that this is coming and this rotation from Whitemon will not be successful, but if nothing else, Ori is not farming the wave right now. Carl will get the rune as well. Illusion bottom whenever he wants. Whitemon gonna start pressuring PYW. Zephyr actually cutting in behind as well.
Yeah, now they're gonna clear the trees a bit here. DY showing himself Laguna Blade, and down goes the Omni Knight. Only level 3. So setting himself up there to just get killed right off the bat. But as long as it's not their mid hero, then perhaps they'll be fine with that.
This is still looking really bad for Vici. 2 minutes in. 6 minutes in, sorry. It is 2K.
2K already, yeah.
You're losing
the damage to the
tower
tower as well.
6, almost. You're not fully losing it here, but it's going to be pretty damn close, so any move later will get it done. Oh, actually, wait, that's an enchanted creep, not a normal melee creep, so a lot tankier, but they will still hold. Yeah. This is all T1 right now. One of the biggest leads we've seen in the whole tournament, minute 7. Winning all 3 lanes, almost getting mid-tower. Yeah. They have a strong scaling lineup with some of the strongest heroes of the tournament, Magnus and Lina. It is...
Yeah,
we're going to need...
Ori trying to catch up in the jungle here. Nice telekinesis onto Whitemon. Will the Pulse Nova be enough? It looks like it will. Wait, yep. Just in range for that last tick of damage as the Wild Wing Ripper doing some damage in turn. So, at the very least for Vici Gaming, their mid laner starting to get back into the fray of things a bit. But again, it's really about Carl right now. Has only found the... Actually, it was an assist. He didn't actually get the kill on the Omni Knight.
He gets the mid tower there. 11 tried to TP in for the deny, but got stunned immediately on arrival. And the creep wave got the tower, so...
Another bottle refill for Carl.
Yep.
He's getting everything that he wants right now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's over 1,000 net worth ahead, or exactly 1,000. No, more than 1,000 ahead.
Just going to provide procs for Zephyr.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you for the Jingu, my friend, as Poyoyo. All right, from Vici Gaming's perspective...
Nothing.
Thank you, Cinderin, for the great commentary as always. Like, what's the plan here? Obviously, Blink Dagger is what I would assume you want on Old 11, but yeah, he has not gotten the greatest of farm this game.
It's still better than Ori's, though. And that's honestly my biggest concern. I know I'm harping on it quite a bit, but Leshrac needs a comeback in this game, so I like the smoke from Vici. Yeah, you got to get Dagger on Mars. You need some way of setting up fights so you can start snowballing a bit with the lineup you've picked. I think it's more tempo-reliant. Whitemon here will break the smoke.
Tanking the gank here. And Poyoyo trying to get credit for this kill, and he'll do so. No, actually, that went to Ori.
Are 5 heroes down here killing a measly end.
Yep. Oh, wait.
Maybe they get...
Mars Arena, Spear, sets it up onto Cuckoo. TP is coming in. Fear Condition doing a lot of damage. RP not going to go off in time. Maybe for the best, honestly, from T1's perspective, that did not go off.
Yeah, I don't think that would have really led to anything good. So... I think you're right about that. They're losing a couple of kills, but keep in mind from an efficiency standpoint, Vici Gaming are not farming 2 lanes for that full minute that they're making moves bottom, whereas Razor and Lina are just going to town on creeps. Carl gonna get what looks to be a 9-minute 30 boots of travel here with the next wave. For comparison, Leshrac sitting on brown boots and 400 gold on the way to a first item Yules he's hovering right now. And you gotta wonder, from Vici again, I understand they make this 5-man rotation bottom because they're a little bit desperate to find fights. Their lineup needs to play fast. I don't know if they can just sit back and farm a Dagger on Mars so that, okay, now we can make a move finally because we have a reliable catch.
You're just gonna be down by even more than 3k
exactly.
At that point.
You drafted in a way that puts you under pressure inherently, and if your lanes go badly, if you play a snowball lineup and you lose all 3 lanes, times are tough, you know? Yeah. I don't think Vici Gaming are gonna win this game.
Not to harp on the Omni Knight pick either, but the fact that you're
helpful.
behind, Omni Knight's not really going to help you get back in most cases.
No, he helps like a sustain, but not set up. Exactly. He doesn't make plays. 11.
Whitemon is going to find Old 11 here. Cuckoo with the shockwave. Old 11 might be resigned to his death, but Ori comes in with that Pulse Nova, doing quite a bit of damage, but the RP does come out. Laguna Blade, not enough to kill Old 11. Dies shortly after, though. The Boundless Strike onto Ori, now completely out of mana. Shockwave back into the fray. This is going to be a 1-for-1, or 2-for-0, as T1 just continuing their dominance in this early game.
Wait, which one was it? Was it 1-for-1 or 2-for-0?
It depends on... it's a 2-for-0.
Okay. Depends on what?
It's an exchange of 0-for-0.
What?
I don't know.
0-for-0.
Cinderin,
Pleasure doing business with you.
Just move on, okay?
How does that interaction work? How do you trade nothing with another person?
Well,
is there even
stealing? That's something.
Well, then they have to steal it back, or it's nothing.
You got to figure that out for yourself. Don't get that.
Does not compute.
Yeah, runtime error for Cinderin. It's okay.
That's fine.
Sometimes
5K
things
lead.
don't make sense.
5K lead. Surprisingly enough, good old Statsman Gaben only gives them 62% off this.
Okay.
So does believe in the Vici Gaming comeback in quite a lot of games. This is a monumental lead for a Magnus lineup, minute 10 usually, but maybe it's the potential teamfight prowess of the Radiant lineup once the right items come out that give them a decent amount of win probability here still. So all eyes for me are on Ursa as well as the Mars Dagger. You need to get a good timing on the Omni Knight Heavenly Grace onto the Ursa so that he can go and find kills. He needs the Diffusal Blade that he's working on. Still far away though.
Yeah.
And the Mag Dagger to set them up. So maybe we see them do a rotation top, however. They are starting to move some heroes up toward that area to begin a siege once
Honestly,
again.
it feels like BKB for T1 is almost a game ender in a lot of ways. There's not much you can do from Vici Gaming's perspective.
Good.
Like, their big setup is the Mars Arena, because, like, look at Ursa's perspective here. Razor is a terrible match at late game. Razor is just so fast, he can just walk around and static link you. And Lina's super fast as well. So really, the Mars Arena is the big setup, but once BKBs come online,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
it's going to be really hard for Vici from a draft perspective.
Dire are scanning.
PYW and company in the triangle, trying to get Poyoyo back on track. 4th in net worth right now, but top of his team.
I love Rubik Tree Dance. It looks so goofy. I'm sorry. He looks like he never jumped in his life.
Get a highlight of that one, Cinder.
I can relate to that. I'm not a very athletic person. This is how I would imagine myself tree dancing.
Middle tower is under attack.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like Clockwork doing that would make more sense for you, but that's just me.
Yeah, that isn't just you.
Maybe not. Carl's got his boots of travel, working on the BKB now. And I mean, you talked about the fact that Empower doesn't necessarily have to be for a melee hero, especially with Lina's attack speed.
Mago will definitely evolve from a hero now that was picked primarily to empower a melee carry to now being a utility hero with catch, and then the Empower is the icing on top, right? Like, you can pick melee range carries like Razor and Lina because Empower still gives you the damage, and the main aspect of Magnus for the most part in the mid-late game is Horn Toss as well as, you know, occasional RP. Empower not necessary for the hero.
And the fact that Empower is more effective on yourself as well allows you to get some of that farm that's needed for the mobility. Smoke comes up from Vici. They were thinking about going for Roche, but have changed their mind here. Poyoyo going to show himself. 23 Savage in the vicinity as well. 23 Savage has the Falcon Blade going for BKB.
He is very tanky.
He has a Refresher queued up after BKB. That's pretty fast.
He knows what he wants.
Absolutely.
He's so tanky though. 2k health. Minute 14 on Razor. He has about twice the health of Ursa for comparison. So an exceptionally hard kill for Vici Gaming to get, and if they want that tower, they got to get through this guy. So he's just posturing aggressively up here, Plasma fielding out the waves. Ultimately, Vici Gaming just called the play off, like they don't see any potential move right now, which is very concerning. Old 11 at least for them, close to the blink now, 300 to go. Maybe that can set something up.
And PYW has his queued up as well, so they're going to have double blink not too far away. And from Poyoyo's perspective, Diffusal Blade, and still kind of a ways away. Still basically the recipe to go from here.
Yep.
So his farm has not been particularly good. And he's not exactly a farming hero either, because once you get the Diffusal, obviously you can get Roche anytime, but it's all about getting the kills for Ursa.
The good news for Poyoyo is that PYW has stolen power, so at the very least he's gonna,
that's handy. Okay.
He's gonna have a little bit of help here with finishing up top.
Laguna Blade. DY's dead.
Had enough for you. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Cuckoo and Carl now in the bot lane. They probably will go for this tier 1 bottom. Let's see the win probability here. T1 off to an amazing start in today's lower bracket game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Do you remember
attack.
that trivia question I asked you
Oh my god, here we go.
yesterday or 2 days ago about which hero has the same abilities that they've had the whole time in Dota?
Yes. Oh yeah, we got a lot of tweets about who that actually was.
I believe there's a couple, but from my perspective, there's one hero in this game, I think.
I guess Leshrac.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I think Lina did not always have Fiery Soul,
No, I
but
don't think so.
apart from that, the kit is very, very similar.
Yeah.
And then it's also about like how do you define what's changed, right? Is Lightning Storm the same ability now that it has a slow? It didn't used to, but like in essence, it's the same hero, which honestly is a testament to some really cool hero design, right? Like a lot of the heroes have been rethought and reworked a little bit and changed skills, but some of the very, very old core heroes are still the same. Leshrac, honestly, one of my favorite hero designs of all time, and it's never been changed. So, very, very cool hero. You would imagine that as Dota develops, a spell like Diabolic Edict would, perhaps get reworked.
It did
right?
change damage types.
It changed damage type. if
Recent.
you go over damage type changes and everything, I think 0 heroes are the same.
Yeah, most likely.
It is very close to being the same.
Except for the hidden gambler that's in the file, Cinderin.
Right. Let's see if I can find another example. Maybe Juggernaut is also the
Radiant's
same.
bottom tower
Did he
is
always
under
have
attack.
Omni Slash it does a different type of damage now.
Right.
It used to be a set amount every time.
Set amount of
based
hits.
off of, yeah.
Set amount of hits with bonus damage.
It is the same idea though. No, that's true. Anyway, back to the game. Vici Gaming obviously took Roshan. That's their big advantage. That's the one silver lining of this game is they do have Ursa to be able to do that. But what can they do with this Aegis in this time frame while being this behind? They do have the double blink daggers that we alluded to, so Ol11 and PYW kind of ready to go here, I would assume.
I think the play call here is you need a blink arena set up with a spear onto ideally Lina, but just BKB, so that one's hard to accomplish. So I guess the second best target is Razor. He has BKB, so that's hard to accomplish. So that leaves the third best target to probably be Magnus.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But more than anything, I think you need to group your heroes up a little bit if you wanna start taking some buildings. We're 17 minutes in. Leshrac has not taken a tier 1 tower. As a matter of fact, the best one he's got is half in mid. Or actually, they're a little bit ahead now bottom, but don't know if they're gonna be able to finish that off. So. Well,
Yeah, I mean that mostly comes from
Okay, they're gonna make a big
the
move
level
up now.
disadvantage that he had in lane. Just
23 Savage.
PYW. Oh, old 11. I mean, he did force out the BKB, which didn't look like it was actually needed, but still, not the initiation you want if you're a Vici fan.
It's something. At
It
least
is
to force a BKB, right? Like, it's better than sitting back and just letting T1 do whatever they want. It's a lineup that is inherently relatively greedy. I think T1 are still super happy with what they managed to accomplish, and all of it really, the majority of what they've managed to do in this game happened in the first 5 minutes, right? It's just been set up for everything. And now Vici Gaming are like, screw it, we're gonna go for a big play. We're gonna bring all 5 heroes top. Leshrac has a bit to go though, ult 11.
Yeah, Puka getting caught out, the spear into the trees, but he's gonna be left to his own devices. Zephyr gets out the Wukong scheme in the meantime. Just soloing up Yo-Yo. Meanwhile, they're gonna be able to take out the Mars pretty quickly here, but here comes Ori, almost out of mana. Carl pops the BKB, dodging the splitter. As a result, Cuckoo gets off the RP just at the last moment. Ori gets bursted down by the right clicks of his counterpart Carl in that mid lane, and Ursa looks to be next. That's first life down. T1 has only lost Magnus right now. Yo-Yo wants to try to take somebody with him to the grave, but the LSA will shut that door. So 3-for-1, T1 advantage again.
If we do get a replay on that, pay attention to where Leshrac is when the fight breaks out. They get the lift, they get the spear, but Ursa's in front of the tier 1 when they spear the Magnus below the tree line, and Leshrac wasn't even there. It's like, I'm not sure what Vici Gaming were expecting to accomplish with that move without bringing their main damage to it. They will get a spear mid now.
Arena, this could be a really good pick for Vici. 23 Savage pops that BKB, and will live as a result. So they force out the second charge.
So essentially, Vici Gaming with that push, they opted to go for the tower because Razor didn't have BKB. You're going to see it here, right? So you get the spear in the bottom, but Ursa's caught in the top area of the map, and Leshrac still wasn't connected yet. They will go on Whitemon in live, though.
Yep, he's healing up quite a bit.
They got his
Is he actually going to live through this? All right, the spear into the tree again. Stolen plasma field splitter. Goodbye. Takes them a while, but they'll take it.
All right. It is something, but still, no tower. I don't know what the stats are for this tournament for a team that has Leshrac to not have a tower at 20 minutes, but it's got to be... I feel like you never see this. It's just been total domination from T1.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get the mid tower, which we have seen from
at least get it safely.
Don't get off to a good start, but yeah, the top lane specifically for Vici. Typically, you see like the trade, right, in a lot of cases, but just not off to that good start that Vici Gaming has been accustomed to in this tournament for the most part.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So from T1's perspective, 23 Savage, obviously he's had that BKB for a while. We'll be going for Halberd, so it changes it up a bit. Not going straight for the refresher. But I actually love players that queue up like 10 items ahead of time, just so they don't forget, you know, what item to go for.
Where am I?
Where am I indeed?
Okay, trivia time.
Oh boy.
Is there? No, there's no trivia. There's been
no trivia. Will Mars die? Yes. Gets off of Arena. And still relatively low cooldown, so well. Right. Does buy a little bit of time for Vici to make their way here, Cinderman. I know you're really excited to do this trivia. You're gonna have to wait. Telekinesis, BKB by Carl. Trying to turn this around now. Zephyr getting way too close.
That was a bit naive, I think. I don't know if he was just making sure to bail Carl out of trouble there by going in. Yeah. If that was the plan, at least it worked. But yeah, maybe he also had no trees to jump on. Look at this tree line in the right-hand side of the map, bottom right. All of it is just gone from the arena of blood.
Yeah, that's
just no trees.
That's actually quite massive.
What are you supposed to do?
A lot of D4s. Right? Timbersaw would be really happy about that one.
Yeah. All right, Shannon. It's trivia time. Okay. You know my favorite trivia for this tournament so far has been, what is the name of neutral items' passive abilities?
Yeah.
What is it for good old Horsey?
Tumbler toy?
Yeah.
What's the active call?
Yes.
Nay.
That would be a great name.
I know. I think of good names.
Okay, what if I tell you that it's very simple and it's exactly what it does?
Bounce.
Vault.
Vault? Okay.
Vault.
That makes sense with horses as well. You see the skewer onto PYW. Okay, he gets one of his own, but only going to delay the inevitable here.
All of Rubik's funny animations are in this game. When he's skewering, he's literally just surfing.
We're just missing a Bat Rider.
It's like he's lagging. It's just like going in a straight line with 1,000
I was a little confused that there might be some lag there, but luckily for us, not to be. And 23 Savage not wanting to give up the first tower.
Up here. Standing there again.
All right, there's the arena. Whitemon stuck inside with the pulse Nova from the side as well. Looks like he'll finally go down. Takes a while though. 23 Savage getting us aesthetically off of Yo-Yo. We see the RP onto 2 from Cuckoo. Shockwave to fall. Beautiful balance strike onto 3. LSA to follow. T1. Unbelievable synergy here. Triple kill for Carl. Old 11, the last remaining member for Vici Gaming, but not for long. Just absolute god tier layering, Cinderin. That was nice.
Zephyr with the BM Yules as well, just for fun. Maybe he was trying to set up for Savage to get the kill.
And guess what? They defended their tier 1 tower still.
Again.
At 24 minutes, Cinderin. We see the replay here.
Okay, so this spear missing, it's not that big of a tragedy. I think, you know, Whitemon dies 2 seconds earlier if it hits, but they can't effectively get anything onto Savage. And as soon as he links up the Ursa this fight, Poyoyo has no damage and that Boundless. Just beautiful, right?
Oh, that was sick.
Wonderful follow-up to Cuckoo.
So absolutely filthy play. Yep. See the Guardian Angel come out a little bit too late. Obviously was just stun locked the entire time. But
all DY can do is smile. I first faced Omni Knight. That's the face of someone who
I misclicked Omni Knight. LSA on the 23 Savage. Can they burst him down? So Yo-Yo's going to get Yules. And as a result, 23 Savage will live. So good attempt from Vici, but I mean, it seems like Ursa's bane, the bane of his existence, is Yules.
Yeah, it is a great item against him. Also, Yules is one of the only items in the game that doesn't get affected by status resistance.
Didn't used to be the case.
I believe that was indeed not the case at one point, but with it being, it's just a great counter to Enrage. Just heal him right away, buy yourself the time.
They're coming back in. Is T1 trying to build on his 10k lead. Old 11 jumps in there. Big BKB by Carl. Yo-Yo and company stuck inside the arena, trying to right-click down 23 Savage gets off the static link though, and my goodness, Ori just melts every single way as Koyoyo looks to be next, and T1 just absolute domination. That's a full team wipe with the buyback coming out from the Rubik. But PYW, all he can do is try to push out these lanes just a little bit. And T1, I mean, Roche won't be up for another minute. It's a little bit unlucky on the timings here.
Yeah.
Because denying that would obviously be big against any Ursa lineup in general.
There will be a chance for Vici Gaming to find a fight there, but again, Vici Gaming haven't won a fight all game. They're trying their best to set something up, but they're just too far behind. Both 23 Savage and Carl are so absurdly tanky. This is a 3k health Razor with 13 armor. Delina has 2.3, BKB Shiva. What damage do you have on Radiant? Like, how do you kill these heroes? I don't know. But what I do know, Shannon, is that I have another trivia question.
God! Hold your horses, Cinder, and PYW's dying! Alright, go ahead.
What is the name of the active of Arcane Ring?
Arcane... Oh, I used to know this one, actually. Is it a dumb one?
No, it is very much what it does.
Okay, Mana Refresh.
That's not even correct grammar. Try again.
That doesn't always stop the...
It has a verb in it.
Cinderin, why are you doing this to me?
It's an active.
Are you trying to embarrass me on live Twitch?
I would never do that.
Okay.
Never. It's called Replenish Mana.
Has been killed.
Okay.
So
I mean, Refresh Mana is not that wrong.
You said Mana Refresh. Like you were some sort of open sesame. Like trying to chant the ring into working.
Well, we already talked about this. English zero language for me is there's the Yule setup. Zephyr. He's got the Boundless Strike and an easy kill for T1 again.
Alright, I was wrong.
Well, Ori does buy his BKB before he dies, I believe, so doesn't really lose much gold there.
That's true. That's something. Roche is up here though for T1 if they're so inclined. Their heroes aren't exactly the best for killing Roche. They have a medallion on Ench which helps, but Razor, well, with Lina in the fountain, you probably don't have enough damage. Oh, Carl just got himself a Scotty. Wonderful.
Yeah. He is an absolute beast.
Look
Look
at
at
that.
It's 27 minutes in the game. Look at his items. That is sickening. Koyoyo in the mid lane. See T1 trying to play with him a bit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, you still have to fear the bear. This is a hero that, if given just a little bit of time, can burst anybody down despite being so far down in net worth.
Smoke on smoke action. This is Vici Gaming's last chance in the game. If they lose this fight, they're going to lose.
Yo-Yo smoke gets popped here. Heavenly Grace applied, going on top of the Enchantress, but they still can't burst him down. Koyoyo has to pop that BKB, gets the enrage off, the RP comes afterward. Koyoyo finally will get one kill, but it's just on the Enchantress, and you see the Wukong's command on the downside. Ursa dies, flies back into the game. Zephyr will be bursted down as well, so it's a 2-for-1 with a buyback onto Ursa. A stolen RP by PYW. Do they have enough damage to actually clean this up? Vici Gaming finally winning a fight. 23 Savage is dead. Triple kill for Ori of all heroes. That is exactly what they needed. And into the Roche pit, Vici goes.
Yeah, so Ursa does have to buy back for that, but that is a huge win for Vici Gaming. And the key part of this whole situation, Kuku's RP on the Ursa, honestly, in my opinion, felt unnecessary. He was fully drained by the Razor. You're going to see the replay here, so watch how Koyoyo goes in. They try to get the Ench burst down, it doesn't work, and here comes 23 Savage with the static link. So Koyoyo's fighting potential is almost non-existent. They RP into the Enrage. He still gets to do a little bit more damage before he ultimately does die to the Laguna Blade, but you gave Rubik that RP by setting it up in this way, and Vici Gaming are going to capitalize on that big time, pulling back about 4k of the lead.
Oh, that was sick.
Radiant's top tower.
69% win chance now for T1, down from, what's that, about 90, I think. 91, just a moment ago.
Yeah, and that, I mean, again, looking at the net worth for the heroes themselves, you can see that that Carl is so far ahead of everyone.
Honestly, though, Rubik is going to have another RP if Vici Gaming set this up well. He has a 1-minute cooldown on it. Spell Steal is lasting for another 2.5, I want to say, roughly. So they have a window of opportunity of 90 seconds where their team fight is so much better than it has been for the rest of the game just with that steal in hand. So it looks like they're very eager to look to squeeze as much out of this as they can, getting their first couple of towers in addition to the mid one now finally opening up a little bit more space by getting bottom tier 1 and tier 2. Carl will respond by taking top tier 2, however, so it didn't come for free. Yeah, and T1 are rotating down. Does he have travels on Ori? He does not. If this fight breaks out, there's no Lesh Cuckoo. Smoke behind will seal 11. He's scared, though. He will blink away.
There's the DD on Ursa as well.
Shepard doesn't care.
Yeah.
That was a little bit
jumping
wild.
in and out, but not going to find anybody. At least not yet.
11. He has to BKB here.
Yeah, old 11 is in quite a bit of trouble. Pops that BKB, gets the spear off as well. Guardian Angel from afar. Poyoyo comes in, trying to burst down the Lina, but Carl pops his BKB. She'll be able to get out just fine. Cuckoo and company trying to take out the Ursa in the meantime. You can see the Eye of the Storm. So much minus armor against this Ursa. He's stuck inside that Wukong's command, but the stolen Wukong's from PYW. And Poyoyo looks like he's going to get out just fine, but Leshrac is just getting decimated despite having the BKB. Yules himself to safety, but not for long. Drops as a result. And this is turning into a fight for T1. The skewer back on Poyoyo. And despite having that Aegis earlier, they still lose this fight, Cinderin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they used RP. I'm guessing they did on the Rubik after he...
He did, right. So what's really crucial in this fight is Zephyr on the Monkey King getting into the backline. So he forced PYW to just RP only the Monkey King, and that makes that fight so much easier. So he RPs and then he steals the Wukong's command, and that just doesn't cut it. They need that RP on the big course that Ursa is hitting. So it's off camera right now, off screen. You see the green marker in the bottom left on the minimap connecting in. Yeah. And just sitting on that Rubik. Back to live though. Carl is getting kind of low here, so maybe T1 can't actually get this tower.
Satanic is on the way, though, Cinderin. Don't you worry.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Old 11. Oh, he gets off the BKB. Gets a little bit of space there. A couple more right clicks should do it. Nice heal from DY. So Old 11 lives as a result of that.
Stolen
LSA, stolen. Is going to connect. Spear onto one. Double rebuke as well. That's going to be 2 cleanup kills for Vici Gaming in their own base.
They really, really wanted Old 11 there, but Neck God will escape.
So, yeah, a little bit of gold going the way of Vici there, obviously. But, and we didn't mention, of course, that the shard was picked up from Roche on Poyoyo, so does get the enrage buff every time he earth shocks. But I feel like the story is about Carl, who... Wait, what did he drop? I thought he had another item on top of this. I mean, he had the wand, I guess.
Bottle. He just swapped the wand out.
Okay.
The bottle was in the first
So it has the
there.
DD bottled.
25,
Man,
gets the attack range talent. Carl is absolutely beastly in this game, and that's honestly still the story. Like, let's think back to 30 minutes ago and what happened in this game. Dota is a game of snowball, and a lot of the reason Carl is in this position is still what happened in the first 5 minutes. So Vici Gaming, honestly very impressed with their ability to stay in this with how grim it was looking. That fight close to Roche really gave them a second life in the game.
It does feel like Rubik is that big wild card in these fights.
He is, for sure. If PYW gets a good RP, you can never count Vici Gaming out in this. Will be a pretty big difference maker if they find some sort of better solution to the Razor life static draining the Ursa as well.
Wukong's command, Boundless Strike, trying to create some space here.
Okay, that's
already being forced out, but there's the Horn Toss back into the Wukong's command, and the right clicks from Carl. But Ori's going to live for now. In fact, going to turn this around completely onto the Magnus. So despite a good setup there from T1,
Old 11 could get an arena.
They lose Cuckoo. There's the Mars Arena. 22 Savage has to refresh to get that BKB off, but they're just going to kill Mars in turns with a 1-for-1 now. Ori trying to play a lot, as much pressure as possible onto Carl. He's getting right-clicked down by Poyoyo. Now pops his BKB. Carl just getting stun locked. That was a stolen LSA as well. Boundless Strike to follow. Carl has to stand his ground with that Satanic. He's doing a lot of damage, but will finally go down in favor of Vici Gaming, but they do lose Poyoyo. 23 Savage has to stand his ground as well, but it's not going to happen. DY and PYW, the last 2 remaining members of Vici Gaming, an absolute bloodbath of a fight. It's just the supports left over. But Monkey King is so strong, he gets lifted by PYW. Oh my god, that heal! Zephyr! Jingu Mastery for the freaking win! Has the high five to nobody, but well-deserved. My god, that was sick.
Can you believe that ended up being 2 supports versus 2 supports?
Dude, epic showdown. I love that.
And then T1 wins it by 2% health on the Monkey King. And then gets off that. He took the Jingo Mastery talent on level 15. I don't know how many levels Zephyr got in that fight. I think he got like 3 or 4. with everything that just happened on that Monkey King, so is approaching a potential level 25 here.
See
He
the
is
replay
20
here.
before this final fight. Now
All
he's
the
almost
cores
23.
die. It's just the support battle of a lifetime.
And
God,
I
this was
totally understand why Vici Gaming thought they could kill him here,
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
They have that. Chris, I don't
And
want more.
boom! Oh, God, that must have felt so good.
That honestly, that is one of the most satisfying spells to use in the entire game.
up
Boundless
there.
Strike with Jingu is that is very, very nice.
See the dismay here from Vici is T1 still holding on to a pretty sizable lead, and Vici, off the back of a couple good team fights, have kind of brought themselves back in addition to the 2 Roches. Let's not forget that that probably had some good impact on the game for them. But win probability, I mean, it's not out of reach for Vici. And again, this is only game 1 of this best of 3. Knew this was going to be an absolute bloodbath. Did not know it was going to come down to the supports just tickling each other at the end there. That was great.
Now with things calming down a little bit, Shannon, you know what time it is. It's time for trivia.
Oh, all right.
Are you ready?
Sure. I feel like my percentage on this is like 10.
How old is Carl?
I have no idea.
Same.
Okay.
It would be impressive.
So that
if
was
you
the
knew
right
that.
answer then.
Yeah, good. That you get.
I just
you
have
get
to
a
match
point.
you.
You get a point.
Thank
the
you.
correct answer is what I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Even if it's incorrect.
Very good. I'm not sure how old Carl is, but old
T1.
11. I'm sure he's in trouble.
Oh.
Okay. Got up. Got up
Yeah,
pretty quickly
plasma
there.
field for a little vision there, and they're not going to run into anybody. Vici very, very careful right now.
Effectively did break the smoke, so nice job there from old 11, and they back off. And like I said before, I kind of can't believe that Vici Gaming are still playing here. Not in the sense that they should have given up, but in the sense that how on earth are they still in the game? But
Yeah.
super impressive stuff from them. Still massively a T1 favorite game.
I should
starting
mention,
to
of
see
course,
a good
23 Savage, in addition to the Refresher, has an Ags and his 25 talent, so that's 3 Eye of the Storm procs.
Yeah.
And then Refresher on top of that, so...
But also important to note is that a huge portion of T1's damage is physical, right? It's Lina right-clicks, it's Razor's Eye of the Storm, like you pointed out. You have Guardian Angel, Solar Crest. Leshrac is finally getting a Shiva's Guard now. You have Satanic on Ursa. There is the potential for T1 that you run into damage issues, actually.
Zephyr does have Nullifier. So
okay.
Guardian Angel
That'll
and
help.
Heavenly Grace, goodbye.
Oh, it's also tier 4 neutral items time.
Oh,
Let's see if anyone
baby.
gets the fabled,
Witch
what was
Bane?
it called again? That
Witch
was what
Bane.
it was called.
And if they can get that, that's another Dispel for Guardian Angel. And
Telescope for Carl. That's
let's just say it's a
very good
Dispel
item for
against
that team.
Omni Knight as a whole. That's pretty much that's pretty accurate, I feel.
Well, you're going to put Telescope on for the Dire. You probably put it on Whitemon, right? You just want that attack range and spellcasting range for the team, and Lina doesn't want to give up the Titan Sliver.
Oh, now Refresh. Ooh, Ags. Wow. All right, we're seeing some items here. So Old
That's
11's going
big.
to have double BKB, double Mars Arena, and all that good stuff. And DY gets Aghanim Scepter. So Global Guardian Angel. And
10-second duration.
And works on buildings, lasts longer. I was not expecting that one, not going to lie. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, that Refresher on Old 11 can make a huge difference. He has a very good chance of surviving. If he blinks in Arena's BKBs and gets GA'd, he can't die, right? Because they can't nullify him during BKB. So I have no real way of killing this. Okay.
Oh, Whitemon might run into Poyoyo here. There's the preemptive Heavenly Grace. Roche is not up.
T-warding.
Yeah, just pivoting across from each other. They
Poyoyo
both have
is-
idea of where they are.
I don't know. I'm starting to question how far T1 are actually ahead right now. Just
It's
from a
starting
damage
to go
perspective.
down here, no doubt.
It is just concerning that the Vici Gaming cores went from being easy kills to now all being exceptionally tanky, and then you add GA on top of it that can't fail to go off. All they need to do is pump their BKB in the meantime. Effectively, I think T1's strategy needs to be changed to a little bit more of a weaving nature rather than just a hard commit. They will maybe catch some picks here mid, though. Old 11 will blink away. Get the invis. And back off.
Good to go. All right, so a little bit of downtime here. You know what that means, Cinder? Just kidding.
Hey, why
As
don't you
Roche,
ask me something?
Number 3 being attempted now by T1. That's going to be the Refresher Shard, so no Ags this time around. As I might see a connection here. Poyoyo is going to be spotted by the Plasma Field of 23 Savage. And Roshan getting close to half HP. This is a fight I feel like Vici has to take. They're going to scan, so they know that this is being attempted right now. Old 11 jumps in with the first arena. BKB by Carl. He just walks out to safety. Old 11 procs his passive now. 23 Savage gets up the plasma heals. There's a refresher from Old 11, able to blink to safety. Pioyo getting kited on the back line right now. And you see Cuckoo boundless strike into RP. T1 decimating this fight, but ends the buyback onto the Rubik. Ori inside. This Wukong's command just getting kited with that nullifier. Easy kill goes the way of T1 again, and DY basically the last remaining member. There is a buyback from Rubik, but ultra kill from Carl into second Roach, I would assume. And T1 might have just won the game off of this fight alone.
Vici Gaming, I am so sorry for believing in you. The moment I said you had a good shot, you get absolutely crushed and get no kills in the fight.
It's okay.
I got run over. Feeling a little bit like Kyle here. Oh man, that was
I don't think he got
fight from
T1. He didn't get off the second arena. I'm not sure if that would have made a difference.
Right, so first of all, he doesn't get off the second arena, and I think they didn't layer their Guardian Angel with the BKBs too well, and there was nothing, like, there was no clear target for Vici Gaming in that fight that they were able to get on top of. They just kept being, you know, kited around. Some insane boundless strike cast there.
Yeah, into the throne.
Oh my god.
They know that these buybacks are likely not here. It's going to be a tier 4 tower, and you can see 23 Savage. Yeah, GG's called. So T1 take game 1, and I mean, they got off to an amazing start, but you got to give Vici credit for making some sort of a comeback when we didn't really see much avenue for it, but they played really well despite not having the laning stage advantage.
Still feels like overall, you know, a deserved win here for T1, even though they had to